And welcome to episode 10 of season 1 of After Class. It is our season finale, and today we'll be chatting to Reyhana Sayed, who goes on Instagram at Creative Classroom Concepts. If As you join us, if you leave your comments in the comment section below, we'll get to it, inshallah. I am doing this without a producer. I'm really missing Raisa, my dear sister and producer at raisa.jusub, and hopefully she will be able to arrive not too much later. So Reyhana is a hands-on foundation phase teacher. She is a teacher who has an eye for detail in and out of the classroom. She shares her passion and enthusiasm for working with children and adults by creating innovative lessons. While I'm talking, I'm just going to invite Reyhana at Creative Classroom Concepts. Creative, as her handle says, Creative Classroom Concepts. She shares her passion and enthusiasm for working with children and adults by creating innovative lessons. She has very good leadership skills, her strong interpersonal skills, all of that combined with a fun-loving approach to cooking and teaching. I didn't know about the cooking, Reyhana. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, Wahida.
I can. Can you, am I coming out fine on your side?
Very much so. This is my first live, so I was a little bit nervous. I pushed the wrong buttons, but I seem to be in, and I'm so excited. I hope that today is going to be just a fun, relaxed chat with you, and that we're going to have our viewers engage with us, inshallah, because I know that they probably have lots of questions that they want to ask.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you for joining us so nicely. I know it's your first Instagram live, and believe it or not, my episode 1 on After Class was my very first Instagram, the real Instagram live, besides the practice sessions that my sister Raisa made sure I did just to get the hang of it. But it's so nice to step out of your comfort zone once in a while and do something that's little out of the ordinary. It inspires others as well, and it allows you to also experience something that you wouldn't have experienced before.
Absolutely true. That's so true. You're so right.
So I'm going to continue with the bio that I was that I was reading out. Reyhana has a very strong belief that learning does not end with the end of the school day, and she shares her creative ideas on her 2 social media handles, Delectables Foodie. And it's got a full stop between each syllable in Delectables, and then the main one, the education one, is Creative Classroom Concepts. So that is Reyhana Sayed. Very happy to have you here, Reyhana. I have tried, I've been trying to chat with you for quite a while. And
every time Wahida wanted to speak to me, I was somewhere or I had something, and I promised you that I would definitely give you the time. So this is me to you, a gift to you for being so delayed and always so busy. And I just, it isn't even something I can talk anything of or give an excuse of.
No, it happens. Life gets in the way of it. And the idea for After Class is basically just to share teacher stories, getting to know different teachers in different, areas of education, basically. And then also to put a small focus on the mental health of educators, because I personally feel that it's not spoken about enough. And in my own small, very humble way, I want to make a small dent into that conversation to get things going, and hopefully the mental health of teachers is taken, is paid more attention to, basically, and not just here on our Instagram lives, but where the conversation can actually reach higher levels, and when something is actually is done about it, basically. So in every classroom, every staff room, my dream is that every staff room should be a well staff room, where wellness is.
Yes.
Yes. So I did give a
I
brief.
named my staff room. So pre-COVID, and I like to say BC, before COVID, we had a beautiful staff room which I helped to design, and I called it Full of Beans. So I'd hate to say, oh, that it was a staff room. It was our Full of Beans room because we separated workroom from staff room.
Right.
So we had a workroom, and in the workroom, you did all the work. And when you stepped into the staff room, you had to be full of beans and you had to just chill and relax. And that was your space to really just unwind and not think about the work. If you wanted to do work, you stepped into the classroom next door, and that was the one that had all the workspaces for you to work with. But
That.
unfortunately, COVID came along and we had to cut
Hmm.
off all of those things. And we're now hoping one day, inshallah, we'll get back to that space.
That is such a lovely, unique concept that I haven't actually heard before. To have separate staff rooms for work and for play, can I say? Because yeah, as you described it, it makes sense. It makes sense to do it that way.
Yes, I
Um,
see Mrs. Supermam is responding. Yeah,
yes.
I hope to share lots of other ideas. She says that she loves the staff room idea, always just space permitting. I know that my preschool team, they had a little staff room and they called it the Wow Room, and that was the Women of Wonder Room. And there are lots of workspaces. I know there are health insurance spaces we have fun names for their canteens and just their spaces that instead of using certain terms, you change it and it just makes it more pleasant, if I have to say.
Yes, most definitely. Reyhana, I noticed from your, I've been, following you on for social media, and I know you celebrated your 20th teacher anniversary not long ago.
My 21st year
20.
of teaching, yes, I'm in my 21st year of teaching. I'm proud to say that I'm in my 21st year of teaching. When people ask me what's my age, because then they wonder, I have to say that I was one of those children who never went to preschool. I went straight into grade 1. So when I was in matric or in grade 12, I was 16 years old. When I
Wow.
was in my first year of teaching, I turned 21. So
Wow.
my 21st celebration was with my first lot of teachers. And yeah, I'm now 42. I'm trying to do the maths.
That's really, really interesting to know that you've been with it for so long, and and I love the fact that you share so openly your ideas and that on your handle at Creative Classroom Concepts, and it's so lovely to get to know a teacher, on the other side, basically. So
Yes, I
I
like to think that if I share things, it inspires people. I once had a principal who told me that I create good competition. So I put something out there and then everybody else feels pressured, if I have to say, to up their game and to do it also and not to be complacent. And so I like to think that I'll take it from there that I create healthy and good competition in inverted commas.
That's amazing. I did give a little bio about you, but if there's anything else you want to add about yourself, please do.
It wasn't anything in particular, but I'd like to say that I said you said that you didn't know that I was into food, and food is really my passion. I started off back in the day with Blackberry food groups, when we had those
Yes.
Blackberries, and I had 9 groups, and in each group we allowed like 30 people, and I
Mm.
shared my passions for food. And I come from a family who are bakers and really experts at cooking, and just that we grew up with it. I was cooking, I think, from the age of 13, and that's just one of my other passions that I really, really love to do.
That's amazing. We have another comment here from someone who says she really wishes to be your student. So you're really making some waves.
Is it an adult?
I think
Is
so.
it an under 12?
Um, You know, I must admit that I'm doing this without my producer helper here, and I've seemed to have misplaced my list of questions that
Okay, so you're gonna just ask me any
I'm
questions
just going to
and
go with.
hope that
We'll just chat it out.
yeah, that's fine. It's like impromptu, like Toastmasters. You're just gonna ask me and hope that I know the answers to it.
Yes, I hope that I remember what I meant to ask. But I mean, I do know the concept of it because I did create it. But
That
generally, so generally, as a teacher, what would you say are your biggest challenges that you experience?
um, I'm quite an organized person, so I hate to think that I have very much challenges. I was giving an idea to teachers today, and I said that I feel that when you make up an idea and you come up with a concept, stick with it if it works. And I'm a stickler like that. I'm a very traditional teacher, so I stick by the fact that I love the breakthrough method when it comes to teaching children to read. And the breakthrough method, for those teachers who are unfamiliar or viewers who are listening in, is that good old-fashioned sentence maker that we used to have, that orange one that we opened out and we had little, I don't know, Waida, how old you are, but this is my time now that I'm talking about. And so when it comes to, if I had to say, issues or anything that I struggle with, I don't struggle with discipline because I really think that children love rules and that they love being rewarded. Instead of, I believe in restorative discipline, and restorative discipline is where I teach the concept before I shout about the concept. So, for instance, if I have an issue about, say, a tiff in the class, or there's a friendship issue, I'll do a lesson so that the guilty ones know if the cap fits, they are really talking about, they know that that is, they're talking about me, ma'am's talking about me.
Yeah.
And so that is, I do struggle at the moment a lot with boundaries. I don't know how to say no. I really try. And I think that the people who ask me or they know that I'm not going to say no, still pursue. And so I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to say no to people, on just standing back a little bit, and just giving myself a little bit of a break. I also, though, thrive on helping others and sharing with others and doing for others. So don't think that boundaries are going to ever be a part of my life.
That's yes. I think it's common for most teachers to have unique challenges and also the ones that just bring us all together. So I did mention that my one sister, who's my producer, isn't here. So my other sister, who's watching from Johannesburg, has really kindly helped me with some of the questions.
Yeah.
So it's coming up.
Like auto cue. This is like SABC. You got auto cue here.
So see, I'll ask now. Normally we all, as teachers, or as I think normal as people, there's always one teacher who's made that impact in our life. That teacher who's changed our perspective on something or the other, or pushed us towards something or the other. Who would you say was or is your teacher muse?
I have a lot of people that I admire, and I admire people for like different things or different characteristics. My I don't have really, I wouldn't say fond memories, but I think that as children we always remember the memories that really stuck out, that weren't the good ones. Like I can still recall in standard 1 or the grade 3 where my teacher would rap me on my knuckles because I never knew my timetables. And I always promised I would never do something like that. Growing up, I don't ever want to be that teacher. If I speak about a muse and people who inspire me, it's definitely the people who watch what I do and watch my accomplishments. I know that every student will know Miss Eileen Richard.
Okay.
And that is, forever. Miss Richards was my lecturer when I was in campus, and this is way back in 1996, and I'm still in contact with her. She
Wow.
follows me on social media, we chat to each other. Whenever I do something, I can put a WhatsApp status of an activity, and Miss Richards will say, and she'll commend me, and she'll say, I bless you for being so inspiring and for having to watch you grow. The last time that I saw her, because I do believe that we thank our teachers and we watch over our teachers at all times, even though we might be separate, was during the unrest. I checked in on her to see, you know what, does she need anything as a senior citizen now? And when I got to visit her for a second or so, she actually said to the girl, this is my daughter.
Oh,
and
sweet.
then we were full of tears. And so she's definitely, if I have to say, somebody that I really, because she taught me how to teach. She was the person who inspired me to be creative, to be bold, and to be like, I remember hours of board work where at campus we would stand outside in the corridors and we had chalkboards and we'd do the handwriting. And she taught me how to do that Natalia script, or the script that I use, and to be a neat handwriter, if I have to say. My other two people that I really admire at the moment are two of my colleagues who, my one colleague, Mrs. Zebun Kassim, she stands for the truth. If there's one person instantly I have to think of that is really honest and stands for the truth, never mind how, you know, the situation is, and that's her. And then of course my my tribe member, Mrs. Govender, and that's Quickie. And the two of us, we can get up to the mischievous of stuff. And if you follow me on Creative Classroom, you see it, you know. And that's how the two of us, I can walk into the classroom with, I'll give you an example, like my laptop cracked or something like that. And I'll say, Mrs. Govender, we have a problem. And she'll say, oh no, we need to do the operation now. And we'll take out the mask and the sellotape and we will put on everything. We'll do the props and we'll act it out. And we really entertain the children together.
Oh, kids love that. Kids love that. Most definitely. So 21, I'm just trying to also work it out. So you were very young when you completed your matric, and you've been 21 years in the field. So you dove right into your studying at, as you said, Embry. Did you always know that?
Before Embry was Dokkies, I went to Dokkies. Dokkies was, back in the day, Dokkies was the Afrikaans medium teachers college. We had Springfield, which was the English, and we had Edgewood. And then in those years, they shut down everything after that, and they said one campus, we'd all go to one campus. We'd go to Edgewood in Pinetown, and that's when a lot of my dean and everybody else opened Embry, and then we moved on to having a private college like Embry, which is now a different name, obviously.
Yes, I noticed that. So my question was then, did you always know that you wanted to be a teacher?
We had in our grade 11 year, we had to choose a week that we would do career week. And we had to go to a certain place, a workplace, and we had to do, and I chose to go to the nearby school, which was the primary school. And I loved it. But when I matriculated that year, thousands of teachers were retrenched. It was really, if I have to say, politically, it wasn't the best of years. The system changed. It was OBE at that time. It was just not the place to, or the time to be a teacher. And there was such a negativity. But my parents and my siblings and everyone supported me, and they said, if that's what you want to do, you go ahead and you do it. And I really don't have any regrets for ever choosing at that time. You know, we were so stressed. I remember, if I have to say 4 years later, I applied to 30 schools.
Wow.
I can speak of that I went to probably like 15 interviews. I can tell you stories because I have such a good memory of going in perhaps with my scarf on and the worry of an interviewee asking me, is that how you dress every day?
Yeah.
Or it was just really, really, and that's how after that I started teaching at Orient Islamic. From Orient Islamic, I went to Al Azhar, and they were a new school, and I helped with the opening of that school. And then thereafter, I've been at Al Falah College for the last 13 years now. And so I stayed in what we call the AMS, the Association of Muslim Schools. I've always taught in private schools. I've never taught in a government school. When I think about admiring teachers, when I think about days that I just can't do something or I'm feeling a little bit lazy, I remind myself that there are department school teachers with triple the load of the
Yeah.
class size that I have. If they can do it, so can I. And I admire them. I take my hat off to them because I don't know if I could do it.
Most definitely. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad that, because it is obviously a huge issue. The class sizes and the workload and the admin and all of it just rolled, snowballed. So Raisa is back, and so she has given me my list of questions, and so I can go back. No, not really. Thankfully for the other sister who helps. Thank you, Khadija. So I always enjoy asking this question. What's a typical day in your life?
Waida, if I have to tell you, I'm like an internet browser. There are like 17 tabs open. 4 of them are stuck, and I can't get in. And I just want to know, where's the music coming from?
Story of my life.
My days are really busy. I had made some changes. You'll notice that I post my healthy choices for eating. Because I up until this year, I would be so busy. And, there's a term called the disease of busyness.
Yes.
The disease of being busy. You feel you need to be busy to think that you're a productive person.
Yeah.
That I would slack and I wouldn't make lunch. And I think that I need to work through my lunch break, or a quick cup of coffee is going to. Now, this year I changed it. I make my lunch. It looks fancy because I want to have that time. I'll take a table mat. I put decor, whatever. And I call my friends also and I'll say, come, stop everything. It's time to eat now. You drop everything and we sit together and we take those 20 minutes or the 30 minutes that we have now, and we really just zone out from work mode and that disease of being busy. So in a busy day, I think that I'm winning now by making those few changes. But otherwise, a typical day for me is crazy.
All over the place, huh?
Yeah, I teach second language Afrikaans also.
Okay.
So I have to, I teach my own class. So there are moments when I'll say, this is Afrikaans tijd, it's Afrikaans time now, and as julle gereed, are you ready?
Yeah.
And then suddenly they have to also change their whole mindset, and we have to think Afrikaans, and we have to talk to each other in Afrikaans. And so I don't teach only my class that language. So I have to go to the next class and teach it also. So my day is really busy.
I can imagine. Yes, most definitely. So as a teacher, what would you say your goals are? What are you working towards?
Small goals. I hope that it's small goals. I don't think that I want anything big in life, but inshallah I'd love to write a book one day. And I'm looking into a few things and a few surprises in store, which when that happens, I will definitely share it with everybody. But goals are day-to-day goals.
Yeah.
So I've learned, or month-to-month goals, small goals make a big difference. I want to, and I'll say, like, I want to do some enrichment program, and I always do that. I'll do it for cancer awareness, and it takes up, it's time consuming maybe to make 500 pink ribbons or whatever, but that's my goal, to accomplish that bit of just enrichment in the community,
Yes.
and just to do it.
That's so beautiful, Reyhana. That really is. You spoke
Trish, what
earlier.
grade does Mrs. Sayed teach? I
Oh,
teach grade 2 at the moment.
those are not coming up. Okay. I need to, I think, scroll all the way to get those. Well, thank you for answering that. Yes, so please do leave your questions in the comment box, and we will get to it as they come along. So you mentioned earlier the lovely concept of your school staff room and that. And I picked up obviously that it's a very positive work environment. What else can you say about the culture of the school that you're at, or at other schools that you worked at?
As I said, I teach in the private sector, and I've always taught in Islamic schools. So the ethos is an Islamic ethos, and that's in favor for me, because I know that it's always the most wonderful thing that I can teach cultures. I must though say that I don't only teach Muslim kids.
Yes.
I have from diverse cultures, because any school chooses an ethos.
Yes.
And anybody is allowed to come to the school if they're willing to go with the ethos of the school.
Yes.
And when it comes to ethos, that isn't even religious based, it is just morals and really, so I have a very lovely environment. It is stressful. If people come to us, they think, how are you guys so busy, and how are you? We have, if I have to say quite modestly, go big or go home attitude.
Okay.
Every little thing, we make it into a big thing.
We noticed that.
We make it so, yeah, you probably noticed that. And I have to say that I think we're trendsetters.
It's beautiful, yes.
Teachers who are so creative and
Yes.
who'll give an idea, and we'll follow through, and we'll think, oh, wow, let's go with this. And I think that we're not lazy to do it and to go big or go home, And if you follow our page, if you follow at Al Falah College, you'll see the events and the things that we do. If you follow mine, you'll see the things that I do. I try to marry the two together, yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. It's the culture of the school that actually, you're comfortable enough to be who you are and to be the creative person you are, because you're working in an environment that accepts it, that goes for it, and that encourages it. So that's really, really awesome. That you and you as Reyhana and the culture of your school fit so nicely together.
Yes, that's true. And I say to it, how do you guys tolerate my happiness or my boldness? And they all know it. And a simple thing like if a worksheet is maybe not up to my standard, my friends will say, Ray will never accept that. Let's change it, So it is, I like to call it that I'm fussy about the things I'm fussy about.
Yes.
Because that's goals. A goal to be not perfect, but a goal to be good at what you do.
Yes, and to have
it's a little worksheet, whether it's anything that you're going to present to your class, just that you have that you are at your best. You're performing at your best.
Yes, most definitely. So obviously the reason then I started after class was to talk about the mental health of teachers, and it has always been an issue, but more so now with the pandemic and the changes in the education system due to the pandemic and things. So on that note now, how have the past 20 or so months impacted your work and home environment?
I have to say that when the pandemic arrived, I remember it so clearly. It was the Thursday that we had our first case, and we were called for a briefing, and we said that, you know what, this is the story on the news, and there's this pandemic, and it hasn't hit out South Africa, but one person has arrived. And that very day, I decided I was going to take action, and I walked into the nearest store. And if you're a Durban person, you know that everybody goes to Osman's.
Yes.
I know, like in Joburg, everybody goes to Osbro. We go to
Oh, yeah.
Osman's, and I bought tiny soaps, and I bought
Oh,
tissues, and I bought whatever it was. And I decided that, you know what, I was going to teach the lesson now, the hand washing lesson that Friday. And I had a Dr. Seuss book about hygiene, and I just picked up things like that. So I took action straight away. I have people who follow me who are, I must say that I teach in a school that's from 00 to matric. So we are a huge school. We are a massive school. And we share and we help each other in the sense that I have a lady or a parent, which I've never met, who follows me and knows I'm the sort of teacher to do these sort of things, who sent me a chart from the newspaper on how to wash your hands, and she
oh,
sent a soap and a hand wash to my door. She made the chart.
how lovely.
She
Yeah.
often would do that. She would cut out newspaper cuttings and make charts for me. And this is where I say that when we say we're a family school from 00 to matric, and our healthy environment that we have, these are the sort of examples that I speak of. And that's how I took action. I didn't realize that embracing it would attack me the way it did, because in the past few months, I was first textbook case of anxiety. When the president put me down in lockdown, I was horrified, because don't tell me what to do, you know.
Yes.
I am a social butterfly. I need to go out. I couldn't understand how he told me to stay in my house and only go out for essentials, which, by the way, I needed every single day.
Everything is
Every single day, I needed to go to the hypermarket to go talk to people, because I'm a people's person. I couldn't understand how I couldn't have to go to school. He said that Sunday schools are going to be closed, and that was that. So I was textbook case. There were stages where I couldn't swallow, I would feel, where I would eat and then I think, what is going on? And when I went to my doctor, he said, it's not stuck in your throat, it's stuck in your head. And it's anxiety when you're feeling that way. So speaking about it now is obviously opening up to it and stuff like that. But I was textbook anxiety. I learned and I taught myself to just now take a step back and say, you know what, this is around us. It seems to be here to stay. It's like a Nokia 3310 that, you know, lasted forever, this pandemic. And that's how I started to make changes. I had to embrace so many things. I had to embrace online teaching. I had to learn. We had to do a crash course in how are we going to communicate? My first communication was WhatsApp videos. I made videos for the kids, and I spoke to them via it to calm them also, because I thought about them first, you know. I cried. By the time I did the third take of it, I was puffy-eyed, you know. So I do admit that I didn't take too kindly to the pandemic. I am also, I'd like to say, a COVID survivor, because I did have COVID, and I blogged about it so that it would teach other people. So my day-to-day that I was in isolation, I put down notes that would help people. If I tried the recipe of the pineapple and the ginger, I put it down. I jotted it down because, first of all, I didn't think it was a stigma.
Yes.
And I felt that if I spoke about it, and could teach people about it and how to manage themselves, and simple things like tear up your mask
Yes.
before you throw it into the bin, because I was in a mask in isolation still, because you are infected and you don't want the next person who's maybe looking through the rubbish to pick it up and
Yes.
to use it. And
Most
the
definitely.
tiniest details, I told people about it. I said I got the app for the blood test. I got the app that says you in a COVID basket of free things that you would get, free monies. I did it all in this pandemic. I'm tired now of this pandemic.
Oh, shame. Hopefully, I don't want to say not much longer, but hopefully, hopefully not much
Yeah,
longer.
I still
We all
have a problem wearing masks. I actually have an Alice band on from wearing, because I can't wear it around my ears.
yes,
So what I do is that I just put it and I hook it into my Alice band.
that's very
And
clever.
I find that that's okay, because in case I'm feeling a little bit claustrophobic, at
Yes,
least I can take it for a breath of fresh air or something. I
yes.
still hate my masks. If you asked me, what's the one thing you want to end about or change about the pandemic, I'll say, please, Mr. President, the day that he says you don't have to wear your mask.
Yes, like it's the social distancing I can handle, the stay
Yes,
home as
yes.
much as possible. I'm in, I like to stay home. I'm not like you. But so I'm okay with it. But also the mask, most definitely, I can't handle
Yes.
it.
Yeah, and I feel that it just restricts me, and that's one of the unhappiest things. But
Yeah.
I still wear it, and I believe in the non-pharmaceutical, preventative measures of COVID. I
Mm,
believe social distancing works, and masks work, and all of
mm.
the things that we, keep 6 feet apart, and all of those
Yes.
things. I believe in the science of that. Yeah.
Most definitely. Okay, awesome, man. So, we spoke a lot about, the way adults dealt with it, but what about the little kiddies? Have you noticed a change? Because you said you were doing online and you were doing WhatsApp and then online, and then obviously, I think at some point were you doing hybrid? I don't know. So have you
Yes,
noticed
I
a change
was.
in the
Up to
attitude?
about 5 months ago, I was still in the classroom and then
Mm,
rushing off to go online,
mm,
because we had options of, all of that. And the kids couldn't understand uh, that you can't hug each other, or hug the teacher.
yeah.
I'm the sort of person that I believe a hug is so, it just helps you, and kids need that. So what I did was that I had a little token. So I had a little, and I'll probably repost it for people to see, a felt car, and it was a hug buggy, I called it. And I said that every time you feel like you need a hug, then just look at that, keep it in your pocket, because that's my virtual hug to you. So I found things that worked for me, that the kids could understand. I also changed my outdoor greeting. So I believe that in the morning the kids have to come outside, even though they're in my classroom. We all have to
Mm,
come outside and we have to greet, and they get to choose. Normally it was high
yeah.
five and a hug and everything else. I
Yeah.
changed that a bit to a foot tap or an elbow bump, or all of those, so that it wasn't a big transition to boom, I can't hug you and whatever. Don't come near me or whatever it is.
Yes.
I Yeah, so those were just little things that I helped to my kids, I feel, and I say my kids, they were quite happy with the transitions that we made. Uh-huh.
Awesome. We have a
Some
comment
is not
here.
anything at all. Uh-huh.
You want to read it, Rihanna?
I can't see. I don't know what I'm reading.
Okay. It's from Sajida V. Salams. I don't have any questions for Rehana, but just would like to say you are an inspiration for me as a new teacher. I absolutely love all your ideas and definitely want to be a teacher just as great. How beautiful is that now?
I mean, I'm so glad to hear that. And really, I pray and I ask people to pray for me that I never ever get bored of what I do.
Oh, yes.
I remind myself when I'm doing a lesson, and I pretend that I'm still a first year teacher.
Oh,
So
lovely.
if I'm teaching a new concept, I like a new concept to be big. I
Yes.
like that, say, for instance, if I'm teaching fractions, I like to take everything that's going to relate to fractions. I like
Yeah.
to do that pizza. I like to, I said earlier, go big or go home, you know? And I pray that I will always be that sort of a teacher, that I'll
Oh,
never slack or be lazy to do anything. I make
yeah.
everything a big thing because I feel that I have to create that memories, in children and everything. And I
Yeah.
see it, we speak about accomplishments maybe,
Mm.
and accomplishments for me are what I see. A principal of mine once said that there are only two people who are never ever jealous of your success, and those are your teachers and your parents.
Okay, yes.
Those two people are never ever, and I love that I see, and I love that I have staff members on board that teach with me that I used to teach.
That's so
I
beautiful.
love that I
Yes.
can see. And I said, I taught you how to read, so you better teach these children how to read. And those are my accomplishments, just to see that in the community. And
Yes.
yeah,
It's so beautiful to come full circle in that way. It must be such a beautiful
yes.
experience. So you did speak about the stresses and your daily routine being quite full, and the fact that you are trying to slow down, things like that. And very often when I ask teachers on after class, what helps you to wind down? What private ritual do you do at the end of a day? Very, very often the answer tea comes up, a lovely cup of tea at the end of the day. So
I
are you
was
going to say
about
that
to
too?
say, tea is the gateway drug to biscuits.
That's why they call us
And if the
teacher.
first and if the first Mari biscuit or tennis biscuit is drowning, you have to send another one in to rescue it.
Oh,
But
same
a
with
good cup of tea. I have a friend who says that anywhere in the world, he'll go anywhere in the world. But as long as he has his 5 roses in his luggage, he's quite happy. He'll take all the stresses of traveling and everything else, as long as he can just have that cup of tea. So
yeah.
I'm not a tea drinker. I love my coffee. I'm not a fancy coffee drinker, but I love iced coffee.
Mm.
And I try out as much as I can. But to unwind, I I don't watch a lot of TV, but I
Mm.
like to unwind with some, if I have to say fiction. I'm an avid reader, but
Oh,
I don't read fiction. I,
okay.
I can't I can't see myself reading a novel or anything of that sort, but give me an autobiography, give me a magazine.
Oh, that's nice.
And even as a teenager, I bought every magazine there was, and I love magazines, and
Oh,
I find that that's for me is just chill time. Yeah, I'm reading all my old ones now because obviously with the lockdown, a lot of magazines just became obsolete, and it was so sad. And the
yeah,
ones that are available now are ridiculously priced.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's what I do to unwind. I think I can't swim, but I don't swim in the ocean. But I love my walks, and that's also was a healthy change in my after my COVID and everything else. I had to train myself to get to where I am, and I am a person who struggles with weight. I won't lie about that. But I'm very active on the weekends. I can go up to 5 kilometers every morning
Wow.
on a weekend.
Okay, you'll be
Yeah,
my
so I love to walk.
inspiration then.
I'll
I'll
take
check
you
out.
with.
So, we've gone well over the half an hour, even though there's no time limit. I know lots of people don't want to stick around for too long. So
Yes, I know.
we'll come to an end now. And to end off, Reyhana, what parting advice would you like to give our viewers, bearing in mind that some of them are new teachers?
If I can say there's one thing is that you must always be observant. You really enjoy your day if you are observant of the cuteness of children. And also, if I have to say that you have to be original. And more than anything, you have to see that there is more than meets the eye. Also, if I have to say as a parting advice, is that there's always a turning point in your teaching. Maybe it hasn't happened for people, maybe it has happened for people. For me, many years ago, I had a kid who was hemophilic, and hemophilic is that if he had to bleed, it wouldn't clot easily, and he always had bandages around him to protect him in case he fell or anything like that. And obviously he had a speech impediment, and when he left mainstream school to go into his special school, if I have to say, special ed school, I'll never forget how the principal called me in and he says that, he says that he loves you and he'll miss you because you never tell him to keep quiet or shut up. You listen to him finish his sentences. And when I walk in a mall and it drives me crazy when I see moms shushing their children, and the child just wants to be cute and show you something, or just give a little duck or anything. I can't deal with it because I think that, do you know how that child feels like just to give him that extra 1 minute or 2 minutes? So again, is that everyone deserves an enthusiastic teacher and a teacher who loves them and a teacher who inspires and makes them change for the better and behave better and just be a role model to them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Reyhana. And I almost forgot that I was going to announce the winner of a competition that I've been running to win a journaling notebook. And the winner, oh goodness, is it working? Here we are, Zakira Saliji. Zakira Saliji at Zakira_Saliji. I'll be in touch with you. Congratulations. You have won the Journaling for Mental Health competition that was running on my Instagram. Thank you so much, Reyhana. Thank you so much to all of our viewers. This is our season finale, season 1. It's episode 10. Alhamdulillah, I can't believe I've been doing this for 10 weeks. Thank you so much for agreeing to come. And inshallah, we'll continue after class in the new term next year, 2022, when the coastal schools begin, inshallah. So the first Friday then.
Inshallah, God willing. And Jazakallah, thank you for the opportunity, and to everybody for their wonderful comments, and just keep being in tune with Wahida and myself on Instagram and follow us.
Perfect. So you can follow Reyhana at Creative Classroom Concepts, and the other one was at Delectable Foodies. So awesome. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam and good afternoon to everyone.